your next
Next show, Saturday. No.
Oh.
Saturday the 16th, June 16th. We're doing one of those Relay for Life, cancer runs. Actually, and there's several people in the band that have had close family, friends, or relatives, and so it's and one of our old crew people is right now stricken with, so, it's kind of close to your heart to do some of those things like that.
Yeah.
And it's, that's what we've always done from the start, is do things that are kind of paying it forward, paying back or something. We always said,
for a purpose.
We the people supported us. Mm-hmm. We give back to that where we can. Yeah. We don't as much as we used to, but.
How many guys in your band are original members?
Well, we have 8 people in the band now, and 4 are still originals from 34 years, up until maybe when Jeff, our drummer, left. Mm-hmm. Up until that time, about 5 years ago, we had 6 originals, which that's kind of the best story, is how many people are still there for all that time, that we still like each other.
Yeah, that's great. And if we end up doing a project, a video of you guys, it'd be great to interview everybody.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All those that we can.
We'll have to talk about that.
Yeah. Oh, I'd love to. Yeah. I'd love to, because there's a time coming. We won't do this forever, I guess.
Yeah.
Although I've got a friend that lives in Las Vegas, and he said, your job is to outlast Paul. Yeah, and I said, I don't think so. He's already older than I am, and he's been around longer than I have, and he's still doing it. So, but that was his birthday wish to me. He says, I have a wish. I want you to last longer than Paul Revere. So, keep kicking.
I think he's 75 now.
Yeah.
When I met him in July of last year, he said that day, I'm 74 and a half today.
Yeah.
And that was down in Canyonville.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, they were playing at the casino.
Oh, at the casino,
so
yeah.
It was good timing, Ed called him and said, would you let my, Chuck go down there and do an interview?
Oh, perfect, yeah. Well, we've been trying to make contact for
a while.
Yeah, a while, and I think when you started it was summertime, and I'm just so not available, unless we're just at the same place at the same time. But that's cool. Yeah, I didn't know they played down there. We've played down there a couple of times, but not.
Seven Feathers Casino.
Yep. Yeah, that's a big.
That was July.
Nice. So they were all there. Now he's got a whole different band than he.
Oh yeah, he's the only original guy.
Yeah. Well, I knew that, but he had another guy. Omar was his drummer.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, and then.
Martinez.
Yeah, and then they had the lead singer that kind of took the.
Oh, they've had a change there too.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, because that's the ones I probably have seen the most times, is that group of them, other than the originals. When, I used to go out to.
Ron Foose, the bass player.
Yeah, and I know that.
He was in a group called City Zoo.
Oh, okay.
The 60s. Do you know
Yeah, well, I know the name.
The City Zoo.
Yeah, the City Zoo. Okay, so he's there. Now, what about, they had a guy, when they first brought him on, they called him Baby Raider.
Oh, yeah, he's still with them.
Is he? Doug
Heath.
Yeah.
Doug Heath.
Okay, so he's still there.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And then
the other two.
One more, the keyboard player. Yes, he's got a second.
Right. Does his son play with him? Paul's son, I thought, was playing with him for a little bit, but he probably just.
I don't know.
On certain shows comes in and plays a minute. And,
I didn't
yeah.
He had a son, I guess.
Well, and maybe he doesn't. That's just what they always said, So maybe he doesn't. It's just they just said, "This is my son."
What if this wife he's got now, she's his only wife, first and only?
I don't know.
You probably met Sydney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. So that's his present wife.
Yeah, I met her in July.
Yeah. She's been around a while. I know that. So I don't know if that's the original.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's really funny because with Paul and his hair, this blonde hair. Does he still do the? Yeah. It's really funny because we were in Las Vegas one time, and Ed said, "Well, look, they're playing at whatever the place was," and he said, "What you need to do is you just go up, and outside the showroom, there's like a buzzer, and that goes back into the dressing room, and you just buzz that buzzer and say who you are and say Ed sent me, and he said he'll let you in."
Yeah.
So I buzzed the buzzer, and I'm down there like this, going, "Hey," and I said, "This is Jerry Hofmann, Johnny Limbo, Portland, Oregon." And the guy said, "Oh yeah, okay." I just hear a voice coming out, see, and I said, "Well, Ed Doherty told me to stop by and say hi, and maybe I could get back and talk to you guys and see Paul." And he said, "Well, we can't do it right now because Paul's dyeing his hair."
Oh, really?
Coloring his hair. Yeah, coloring his hair. I said, "Oh, okay, well, talk to you later." And I never did go back.
It's an inside. I didn't
Yeah.
know if it was natural or...
Yeah. Well, and I don't know how much. Maybe he just touches it up for all I know. I don't know.
It looks natural.
Yeah.
And he looks good.
Yeah. Yeah, he's... For 75? Yeah.
Doing what he's doing, he looks really good.
Yeah, he's been around.
Madman of rock and roll.
Oh God, and he's got to be, because I've talked to him sometimes, outside of performing, and he's just got to be one of the funniest guys I've ever talked to. When he's on, when he just clicks into gear, and he's on, he is really funny.
I think he's had such an enjoyable life. He loves,
Yeah.
He just loves it.
Well, and no dummy. I mean, really. I mean, he played it right. Took care of things and made money, and that's always fun when you make money, of course. But so I think, he's probably had a great career, and it starts way back. Like I say, I saw him at the La Grande Armory, and I graduated from high school in 1964. Mm-hmm. So if you think about
so
that, I mean, they were coming through from Boise or Caldwell or wherever it was that they lived. He was over there. Yeah.
Well, first time they played at the Salem Armory was February 63.
Oh, wow.
Ed's got a ticket from the show.
Ah, yeah.
February 63.
That armory has some good stories to tell. I wish he could have gotten the armory for this show. It's such a great venue, but it's big, it's huge, and
what started this whole thing out was the documentary I'm doing. We thought, well, let's see about showing it at the Elsinore, showing it there, big screen.
Right.
And so that's where it started from, and then they thought, well, bring in some live music too.
Ah, okay.
So we're showing half the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long is the movie?
Like an hour and a half.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. 105 minutes, actually.
And a lot of interviews with Ed and his recollection over the years.
I've interviewed him 3 times. John Terry.
Yep.
John Terry's on it.
Yep.
He's on it. Some of the local groups, the Live 5.
Mm-hmm.
Guys from the Live 5 and the Morning Rain.
Morning Rain, yeah. Remember all those?
Are in it.
Wow. But they don't want to come and play or anything?
Ed doesn't want the Live 5 coming. He's got problems with some of those guys. Morning Rain, they have... It's just too difficult for them to get together.
Yeah,
They're spread out.
Well, and so I know what he told me was, he says, they're all dying off, man.
Yeah.
They're all dying. I've been around forever. I don't know, how old is Ed? 70?
He's the same as Paul.
Paul, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
That's what I've been told.
Yeah.
He's 75 now.
Because I've known him since we started.
Mm-hmm. Before that, you said...
Well, actually, see, I didn't know him before.
Oh.
I mean, his recollection was that I went there and we talked about, me forming a band.
That never happened? Oh, you said that, you told me, it wasn't the Sonny and Cher show. It was
well, I went to see the show, but I didn't know Ed at all. Okay. And I never got backstage or never got, I remember I was, a friend of mine, I was going to Portland State at the time. It was 1965 or 6 in there. Yeah. And I was going to Portland State, and this friend of mine called me up, and he said, hey, I've got tickets for a big show at the Armory in Salem. You want to go? And I mean, literally, at the time, I was calling him for something else from a phone booth about some other thing.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I got these tickets, but it's now. We got to get going for Salem right now. And I went, well, okay, I guess so, So he and his girlfriend and me, I mean, that was it. I mean, it was literally within a half hour. He said, I'll pick you up, and we're on our way. Wow. And so we went, and it was the Mamas and the Papas, the Lovin' Spoonful, and the Shangri-Las. Yeah. And the Shangri-Las opened, with Leader of the Pack, and it was all, we knew the songs. And then the Lovin' Spoonful came on. We knew all those songs because we were buying albums, and we had all the, and it was a huge crowd. But when the Mamas and Papas came on, they came out and came onto the stage, the whole back of the room just moved forward, and I remember his girlfriend, I was like standing right behind her, and I was struggling to keep my feet on the ground because, literally, it was just kind of pushing people up in the air. It was such a big surge, and she was screaming because she couldn't catch her breath, and her feet were off the ground. Literally off the ground because this push, and I'm trying to push back a little bit to save her, and my friend's in front of her. I remember her just, I can't breathe, I can't touch the ground, And it was that big a deal when the Mamas, and who knows what they started with, but, Monday or California Dreamin' or whatever, and the place just went nuts. But so that was probably my first experience with a Salem Armory concert. I'd been to other concerts. I just didn't know that Ed was the promoter, but I didn't know Ed from anybody. And so it was like 10 or 12 years later when we put this band together as a gag, a party gag, and then the name just the name Johnny Limbo and the Lugnuts. You remember parts of it, and we never got it right. It was, Johnny Lugnut, or, Johnny, I remember one time we were playing at the Red Lion downtown on Sunday nights. We did that for about a year and a half. And that really got our name out there. And I remember I was standing there one time, and the bartender took a call, and then he came back laughing. He says, somebody wants to know when Johnny, Lulu, and the North Nuts are starting. It was just, so our name was always, it was funny, and we thought, the first time we ever played publicly, we thought, we got to get rid of that name. We'll just be laughed right off the face of the earth, And then we thought, no, you know what? It's fun. It's funny. Mm-hmm. And that's probably been the best thing we ever did was keep that name, Johnny Limbo and the Lugnuts. Mm-hmm. And it was it's catchy. One. Yeah. So.
Is that mic? I gotta look at this mic. Is it?
I don't know.
It is. I know. The wire got me. If you pull it down.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna reclip it.
Okay.
Higher.
I'll just keep it like.
Yeah. Can I move this this black handle?
Oh yeah, my
It's showing. So I just move it over here.
Yeah, that's fine. No, it's my what do you call those little things? They use it in restaurants. It has a name though. What's it called?
Hokey.
Hokey. Yeah, if you've ever been in the restaurant business, you know what a hokey is.
Oh.
The hokey, and when you see the people out doing stuff real quick, boom, boom, boom. Let's get that picked up. Well, that's what that is. It's a hokey.
Let's go ahead and then talk about some stuff about you. You working with Ed. Your working relationship with Ed Doherty.
Okay. All right.
Just whatever you want to elaborate on. Then we'll do the Chuck Berry.
Okay. Yeah. Well, like I was telling you, we started in 1978, and we played. Starting as a party gag. We never expected it to go any further than that, but it got to where we were in clubs and playing, and our name got out there a little bit, and I think the first thing. Ed was very big in the business. He was selling the tickets. He had the security, and did everything. And so he was out there booking lots of bands, and he heard about us for whatever reason. Maybe it was through another agent, And I think the first thing we ever did was like an anniversary event or something at Meyer and Frank in Salem, where we played for like 45 minutes and then take a break, and but they were having a big celebration in the place, and of course, Ed, we thought, this is big time. Ed took us to lunch, and on the breaks he'd give us a little, and make sure that we were fed and we were feeling good and everything. So we thought, this is pretty good, we really hit the big time here. But then shortly after that, he used to bring Jan and Dean a lot, to the events that he would do. And he booked us to open for Jan and Dean at a big outdoor event. And that was our really big first time thing with Ed Doherty, So, and we thought, boy, this guy really is our path, because he knows everybody. And he knew everybody. So that was our first time. And we've had, over the years, he's booked us at fairs and car shows, and we've done other of his anniversary events, and we've had a good relationship with him. Ed's a funny guy, though. You never know sometimes whether he's playing with you, joking with you, or if he's serious. So you got to kind of keep that in mind all the time, because I've seen Ed, put the hammer down a few times on people, but we've always had a great working relationship with him. So, and he kind of calls the shots. I remember the first time we played at a big fair for him. And we were well into the set, and we were just rolling, and we really wanted to show, that we could rock and roll and keep the audience going. And we were going just full speed, and I looked over at Ed, like, how we doing? And he looks at me and he goes, cut. And I went, oh man, what have we done? What did we do wrong? He wanted us to cut. And so we finished in a song and said, thank you very much. And we got off stage, and he said, well, it was just running a little long, and it's kind of hot out here today, so I just thought we'd cut it, and we'll just do more on the next set, on the next show. I said, okay. But I thought he was cutting us and saying, you're out of here, you're off the stage. He was fine. He just didn't, that was enough for that moment. We'd done enough rock and roll, so. But, we've been backstage with him for lots of things. He's usually there all the time when he was working all the time. Now that he's nice and retired or semi-retired, but he was always backstage, and we'd always say hi to him, and he'd get us going, and of course Jan, Jan's the secret there, isn't she? Ed, the secret to your success, Ed, Jan. That's what he always says anyway. He says, I wouldn't be anywhere without Jan. She's the brains, he's the brawn. But anyway, so Ed's been a good friend over the years. What?
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Jan, she kind of ran the money.
Well, that's what he said. He always told me, he said, she takes care of investing my money, taking care of my money, and I just go out and do the work, and but she was always in the background. It was always Jan that I had to go to. Am I unclipping again?
Oh no, I'm gonna move it down a notch. But
no,
down.
Because it's too loud.
Oh no, it's good. There was one time when it rubbed, I think, on your chin or something.
Yeah, it could be. Well, now that I'm getting more than one chin.
Oh. There we go.
All right.
Yeah.
But, she was always the one that I went to for when it was time to get paid. Jan had the check. He'd just go see Jan. She'll take care of you.
You have Ventures? Did you play Ventures also?
Yeah.
Was that an outdoor
you see that
Salem?
That was actually at Clark County Fairgrounds.
Oh, okay.
And we really thought we were big dogs on that one because it was... well, as I look at it, it looks like Jan and Dean, Paul Revere, the Ventures, and us. I mean, that was big.
Yeah.
It was up in the Clark County. I don't know if it was on the fairgrounds, but it was out kind of in a field kind of situation. Big event, and I don't know who put that one on.
That wasn't an Ed thing.
Yeah, but it was, those are three groups in front of us that we've done all. We do.
Edward.
Oh, Noki.
Yeah.
Amazing.
He lived in Brownsville for a while.
Oh, did he?
Near Sweeto, where I'm
Yeah.
from. Yeah, he did for a while. Small town.
Well, I remember going to, we played with the Ventures one time, and the guy, just almost unemotional in his playing, but
so
just incredible. The fingers just flew, but it looked like it was no big deal to him. Here we go. But yeah, so that was pretty interesting with him, and we were with Jan and Dean several times, and we've been with Paul. He'd know who we were if you said Johnny Limbo, he'd go, "Oh yeah, how's my old friend Johnny doing?" It's like your old buddies or something.
He makes it to that thing.
I hope he does too. Yeah,
I think he wants.
It'd be nice. We don't have the guy in the band anymore, but we used to do a Paul Revere and the Raiders medley of songs. So you saw that. He's no longer in the band either. So so those things kind of go away.
Yeah.
Because that was what he did. He did it so well.
He did a Sonny and Cher thing
Yeah.
on there too.
Yeah. And the funny thing about that was that Cher was, Dave, who was in the Paul Revere and the Raider thing.
Yeah.
So now when we do it the right way with a girl being Cher instead of Dave being. The very first time we ever did it, he did it, and he had a full beard.
Oh.
Cher with a beard, but that was part of the joke anyway.
Yeah.
A very mature Cher. But anyway, so Sonny and Cher. We do. We're doing the Mamas and Papas now. But we do all that. We probably don't do any songs that were local bands.
Yeah.
at the
Northwest
Northwest Local, we don't do any of their tunes because a lot of them, never made it to much airplay anyway. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean they weren't good. It's just that we do more of the stuff that is recognizable from the era,
Right.
We do a Ventures medley, so we do that. We used to do the Raiders, Blues Brothers. Yeah. We do a Beach Boys medley, and so a lot of these people, because he brought them to town. Stuff that we already do will be good because we can just relate it to. Well, here's another act that Ed brought to town. Sonny and Cher, and so I think that's what we'll do. But I really do want to talk to him, and say, what are we doing
for the guest artists?
Yeah. Because I want it to be good too.
Let's talk about Chuck Berry now.
Okay.
And you can start off with something like, there was one time Ed hired us to play for Chuck Berry from wherever.
Okay.
Kind of
even if that's not the truth.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know. He could have been that one, but but I don't know. I just don't know that. So anyway, okay. So Ed has hired us to play with a lot of people, and probably one of the biggest names that we've ever been with is Chuck Berry. And of course, we'd heard all the kind of horror stories about playing with Chuck because he could be pretty temperamental and he would want things changed, or you just and the thing playing with him, what we'd heard from other bands is he doesn't necessarily do the song at that performance in the same key he did it when he recorded it. So you have to be on the alert for that, and whoever, usually it would be the bass player or the keyboard player, pick up the key, and then it was a finger signal to everybody else. Like 1 was A, 2 was B, 3 was C. Simple enough. He's doing it in C, So you always had to be aware of what he was doing. And we'd heard of some of the horror stories, and actually we had played with Chuck about 3 times before.
Maybe we should start that over.
Okay, you don't want to.
I'm just thinking how I could edit out that.
Oh, that mistake?
Edit out that mistake. Where Ed, you know what I mean? Yeah. If you don't mind, let's start over.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Anyway, okay, so Ed's hired us to play with a lot of a lot of the big boys that came well before us, and one of our favorites was Chuck Berry. At least we thought that was really a feather in our cap to play. We would be the opening band as well as his backup band, and we'd heard kind of the horror stories of playing with Chuck, that he could get temperamental and change things in a second on stage, and you just had to be aware that what he was doing at all times, and I mean, even to the extent of him not playing the songs in the same key that he recorded them in. So if the keyboard player or the bass player picked up the key right off the top first, we had little finger signals like 1 was A, 2 was B, 3 was C, down the line, so that we could be playing at least in the same key that Chuck was playing in. And so we'd had pretty good luck. We'd actually played with Chuck a couple of times before Ed hired us to play for this event, and it had been okay. We thought, well, maybe the stories are just that, stories. He was fine. He was friendly. Everything went fine, and then we came to the event that Ed hired us for, and it was, I mean, everything lived up to the horror stories. He just couldn't be pleased that day. He was in a bad mood to start with. We thought, and that's what we thought. We got on stage, and he always asked. He has certain requirements, that he has a certain kind of amp, that they be placed in a certain place, and that everybody be placed where he likes them to be. And I think probably the first thing that happened that night was that he stopped the show after maybe one song, and decided that his amps weren't pointed quite the right direction. So we had to move them maybe 3 inches, and then he was happy with that. So we thought, well, this is going to be some night. We better be careful, with what's going on. Probably another 2 or 3 songs into the set, he stopped the show, turned around, and hollered for the stage manager and said, "I don't play another song unless you get me a new drummer." I mean, it was just devastating for a drummer, especially, who had been playing for him 3 times already. And they had even talked and been like buddies, kind of, And for whatever reason, he decided he didn't like the way our drummer was drumming that night. And he stopped the show, literally. And the strange thing about that is they pulled a drummer who had played in a band just before us, who was in the beer garden, having a couple of beers, pulled him out of the beer garden and said, "Do you want to play drums for Chuck Berry?" And he got up there, and he didn't. He was scared to death. He was a country act drummer. Doesn't mean he couldn't drum rock and roll, but that wasn't what he knew. And he played, and Chuck was just fine with that, just had no problem. But, I mean, it was just one horror after. And then I think during that show also, he stopped it again, and he doesn't allow, in his contract, it has, there will be no pictures taken, no videos of me performing. And there was a lady out in the audience who was taking pictures, and the flashes, on about the 3rd flash, he stopped the show again and said, "I don't play another song until that person with the camera brings it up here." And so the show stopped, and by that time the audience was just, I mean, they were kind of like booing him. They had enough of this guy, no matter how big a hit he was, how many songs he'd written, they were done with him, But he took the film out of the lady's camera and let her take the camera back, and he said, "Okay, now we can keep playing." And he said, "In my contract, section 8A, like everybody in the audience would know, it says no cameras, no pictures." So that was a bad night. We made it through the night, but we resolved at that show that we would never play with Chuck Berry again, because even though we had 3 good experiences, the one was enough to take care of it. And I think Ed probably has some other stories to tell about Chuck Berry, and it's too bad, because he really was he's an icon, and his style, and he's probably one of the best, if not the greatest, rock and roll musical poets of all time. He just writes great words and fun songs, but he was not a nice guy to work with on all occasions, for us anyway. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, covered that good.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for going back and.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's easier for me to work with when I edit.
Yeah, just
But no, that's good.
drop that out. And,
Yeah. Wow, what a problem he was.
yeah. I mean, I mean, like I say, we'd heard all the stories.
Yeah.
We thought, well, somebody's full of beans here because he's been, I mean, he was, when I told you about when he arrived in Portland the first time and we took him down to a music store to buy him strings. And we thought it would be kind of fun to walk into a music store with Chuck Berry, and so, I mean, we walked in with Chuck Berry and every guy in the place is just going, whoa, you know who that is,
Right.
and we're playing it cool, like, Chuck and us, we're like this, we're just kind of stand back, would you, we're getting some strings from Mr. Berry here.
Yeah. Well, that must be fun.
It was great,
You guys probably had a lot of fun over the years with the people you've got to meet and work with.
See, that's the biggest for me. I mean, I have a great time every time we play. I'm not tired of it. As trite as it may sound, way back a long time ago, somebody said, well, when are you going to quit? And I said, when it's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people say that and keep trudging away, but I believe that that's what I'll do. Mm-hmm. I'm still having a great time. And one of the best things is all these people that we've got to meet and actually be this close to, I mean,
not a lot of people get that.
And they don't get that opportunity.
You guys have done a rare thing with your group.
It's fun story. One of these days I'll write a book and make a video. What do you think? A documentary.
Yeah. We may just do that.
Yeah, that'd be fun. But I mean, it is. We've literally gotten to get right up close and chat with.
Out, so it'll be cooling down.
Yeah. Like Chubby Checker.
Oh, him.
What a great guy.
Uh-huh.
What a nice guy. And Ricky Nelson.
Yeah.
Ricky was on stage really good. We played with him the year before his plane went down when he crashed, on New Year's Eve.
Was that an Ed?
No, that wasn't an Ed thing. It was somebody here in town that just brought him, and it was at a movie theater or something, an old movie theater that wasn't being used for anything, and they had a concert there.
Yeah.
And I mean, Ricky Nelson was just like his song, a teen idol. I mean, he was still just a good-looking guy. I mean, I can see why all the girls were just falling for him in the old, but he was kind of a boring guy.
Oh.
Hi, Rick. How you doing? Good.
Oh.
We're excited to open for you tonight. Good. Thanks.
Oh man.
And I'm just going.
Wow.
And so I have somewhere a picture of us. Because I asked him. I said, Rick, can we take a picture with you? He said, yeah. And so we stood around him, and it looked like we were taking a picture at Madame Tussauds Wax Museum. I mean, we were all animated, and here was just standing there. It was amazing. I mean, but it was Ricky Nelson. No matter how you look at it, it's still, Ricky Nelson. And but I mean, there have been so many people over the Righteous Brothers. I mean, that was a great show we did with them. That was an opening act, and they were just as nice as can be. We've had pretty good luck, really. The people we've been with and met, been really nice. But Chuck kind of that one night.
Give you a story to tell.
Well, and I told our drummer too. I mean, he literally was devastated.
Oh, that would have been embarrassing.
Oh yeah, I mean, he was in front of all these people.
Yeah.
There had to be probably 2,500 people in the tent. That's all they could get in there, but it was packed. And Chuck Berry asked him to step off the stage. I don't want him for my drummer. Yeah. So I mean, he was just emotionally devastated.
Yeah.
I mean, he just didn't know what to do. And I said, you know what, Jeff, his nickname was Mongo. He got the name Mongo. He was a big guy,
Yeah.
And somebody a long time ago gave him that name in high school or something, so we called him Mongo. But I said, you know what, put this in your resume. This is a plus. Oh. You've been kicked off the stage by Chuck Berry, because so has the lead guitar player for the Stones.
Oh, yeah, Keith Richards.
Keith Richards. Chuck tried to kick him off the stage. There was a documentary made called Hail Hail Rock and Roll.
I've seen it. Yeah,
Have you seen it? Yeah. And he tries to kick him off the stage, and he just wouldn't go.
Yeah.
Basically, screw you. You know, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I said, better people with bigger resumes than you have been kicked off the stage by Chuck Berry. So put it in the plus column. You know, I tried to make him feel better about it, but he was. It was.
Yeah.
And then to be replaced by
Somebody out of the beer garden.
somebody out of the beer garden.
Country
Yeah.
drummer.
Yeah. You know, nothing against country drumming. But it's something against, you know, this guy. He didn't know what he was doing. He knew what he was doing. He was drinking beer, you know. And he got all the. I mean, he came on and sat down, and we just kind of looked and went, "Wow, this guy's drunk." Mm-hmm. You know, but he beat the drum. But then that's hard because we had to play with him.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, oh man.
You're used to your drummer too.
Yeah, you know, and the drummer is like the heartbeat, sets that tempo or that frames that picture, you know, and so you're trying to keep up with this guy, and I know he felt bad too, you know, because he knew Mongo. It was a friend of his, you know, so it made him feel bad, and but it was, it had to save the day, I guess, because Chuck would have been going down the road, you know, with all money in the bank. And like I said, he just, if you say, because I think Ed said something about, to him, because I think Chuck pulled him on stage and he said something, you know, and he said, I think I need about another $5,000. I'd like to have that before I sing any more songs. And, you know, Ed, in his way, stood up and said, well, fuck you know, and Chuck just looks at him and says, well, okay, show's over.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know whatever happened with that, but I know, Ed's got some great stories about guys that mess with him, you know, that weren't professional in what they did, and
Ed knew how to. He knew how to take care.
You didn't want to. I knew that was always the case, but we always had such a good working relationship, you know. And Ed, there were times when we would say, "Oh yeah, it's Ed, I owe you one. Doherty wants to hire us again," because it was one of his favorite phrases. Look, do this for me, I owe you one. But it was never a big deal. It wasn't like he was, you know, cheating us or anything. But it was, you know, we wanted to do the event, so we would do it for him. But so we never got to that side of him where he got, you know, tough and just said, okay, you're in trouble now. But I've seen him do it. I've seen him on the phone with somebody, and I just went, whoa, because the band used to say, well, I don't think Ed likes us, and I said, sure he does. That's just Ed. Sometimes you don't know what, like I say, whether he was kidding or not kidding, you know, but you don't test that. But I said, I just saw him dress a national act down like you can't believe, and I said, no different than he would us, you know. He likes us. So,
I've gotten to know him pretty well by doing this project, and he had earned my trust. You know, he's got quite a collection of stuff in his basement, you know, posters and stuff that he's let me go through and you know, take to my house.
Yeah.
He's trusted me to do that.
Yeah.
Because I had to scan stuff.
Right.
Pictures and stuff. So
Well, I think there's a guy that kind of took advantage of him there.
Yeah. Yeah, he talks about some guy that owns a record store in Salem.
Oh, yeah.
I think I know who he means.
Well, there's another guy here that was a sound guy, too.
Oh, really?
And did, you know, Ed, of course, would bring his buddies along on it. You know, like if I'm going to be successful, I need a sound company that I can always call on.
Yeah.
So he kind of got this guy going, and and we bought some sound stuff from him years and years ago, and he had kind of a reputation as being, you know, kind of a shystery character, but I think he took some of those things from Ed's basement and then recopied them and was selling them on the internet for,
like
you know,
eBay.
good dollars, yeah. As originals. You know, when Ed's got all that, I mean, that basement is amazing.
Yeah.
When he just starts pulling stuff out of there, wow.
Posters and pictures and.
I mean, and the people that he's just been with, you know, that's just amazing to me. That.
Oh yeah, he's got his good stuff is in the safe.
Yeah.
Behind the wall.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, to be like carrying Mick Jagger down the streets of Salem or something on your shoulder, that's that's kind of, you look at that and say, wow. Yeah, now you couldn't believe that because you can Photoshop anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could have Elvis sitting on my shoulders.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
wow. So I'm sure Larry Carroll,
yeah.
Cascade Sound.
Yep.
He's in this too. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, because they're old friends from forever,
Yeah.
And in fact, we bought, and we still do, buy equipment from Larry.
Mm.
He gives us kind of a good deal. And not a steal, but a good deal. He figures.
Professional discount.
Yeah. Well, and he figures, I order it, so he just charges me, a percentage over plus shipping. Because if it's not sitting on his shelf, it's not a big deal. He buys it, it comes in, it goes right back out the door, and it's paid for. He makes a little bit, plus he takes care of his shipping, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
But we bought our whole sound system from him originally, the whole big thing. Whoops.
Yeah.
I guess I'm still hooked up here.
See you guys maybe.